Hello, my fiery friends. How are we doing today? Once again, we are back on stream and we're going to be playing some Outlaws of Thunder Junction once again. But again, we're going to be asking a simple question today. How powerful right now is one of the most busted and most exciting cards that I have seen come out in this set? What card am I talking about, you may be wondering? Well, I'm glad you asked. So let's go ahead and let's pull up that deck list right now. If you didn't already see, we're actually showcasing not one, not two, but three variants of this deck. So you can kind of see up here right now, I've got three variants of course, the one and only Slickshot Show Off. So let's pull up again these that we're going to be rocking today. And as you can see right here, so we're going to be doing, again, as I mentioned, three deck lists based upon this. We have one here. This one's the standard one today, but also we're going to be looking at two variants for the Explorer format. So real quick, I'll just briefly kind of skim these for you. Don't worry, we'll get a chance to play all three of these later on today in the stream. So this is going to be the variant that I put together myself. So this is my own homebrew, of course, for the Slickshot Show Off deck. And then the other one that I wanted to also discuss real quick is going to be this one right here, which is the meta version that's right now taking the Pioneer and also the Explorer formats by storm. So this is, again, going to be the non-budget one if you want to go all out, but we'll talk about this one a little bit later on. In any case, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all having a great day today. It's been a little while since, of course, we do stream. But again, for those of you who do manage to take the time to look at my streams, I do appreciate that you guys show me some support. Do not worry, again, as whenever I can, I will try to squeeze in streams whenever possible. But otherwise, the other thing I just want to say today is if you are interested in any of the content that I do, whether you'd like to see the streams or not, or if you do want to at least catch any of the content that we do, budget, deck techs, the booster pack openings, be sure again to like, follow, and subscribe. You can see everything is going to be placed at the very bottom. Not required, of course, but again, any and all support I do get is greatly appreciated. Okay, now that I got all the shilling of my other socials out of the way, let's go ahead, let's talk about today's deck briefly. So, first off, again, we'll be starting in Standard, and we're going to, again, go over the highlight of this whole stream, which is Slickshot Show Off. If you have been living underneath a rock, this card right here is super awesome, and it's insanely good at what it does. What exactly is it, though? Slickshot Show Off is basically, what is that now? A Kiln Fiend, but on steroids. This card is cracked. So, to explain it real quick, Slickshot Show Off is a 2-mana, 1/2 bird wizard that has flying and haste. Just like the Kiln Fiends of the past and Festival Crasher, I think it's Festival Crasher. I'll explain in a second the difference here. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Slickshot Show Off gets +2/+0 until end of turn, and you get to plot it for 2. But the plot is what really makes this card really powerful, along with its two keywords, flying and haste. So let's compare those real quick. I know I'm a little rambling here, but again, hear me out for a second. Wow, I cannot say words right now. But otherwise, let's kind of show you. This is, again, what I'm talking about here. So there's two cards here that are very similar to Slickshot Show Off that some of you may have been seeing in the past. So Festival Crasher, this is basically, again, the old variant of these kinds of decks where you want to pump up your creatures, you want to do a bunch of damage. But as you can see here, Festival Crasher as a common is kind of weak because it has one major weakness. It comes down on the battlefield and you have to protect it in some way, shape, or form before it can start doing its thing. Whereas Slickshot Show Off here, as you can see, this card is hasty already. It has evasion with flying, plus the plot ability technically means you can cast it at a later turn for free, saving up some of your extra mana that you're going to need to then utilize it to spell sling and just beat down your opponent. That's what makes this card so much more better and much more powerful compared to the other variants that we've had out there. Whereas Festival Crasher, cards like this, again, I've done some fun little jank decks like this in the past with using this card, but let's be real here, Slickshot Show Off is the real deal. This card is hilariously awesome. I am super high on this card today, and you're going to see how well it does. But is the version we're playing today in Standard going to be the version? Well, let's actually now talk about the whole deck as a overall. And even though I do design this, of course, and we're mostly playing best of one today, we do, of course, have a sideboard, which I'll talk about in just a moment. But otherwise, now that we have, of course, our key piece out of the way, let's go ahead, let's now cover, again, what exactly is this deck trying to do. So, as you obviously can tell, we're going to spell sling as much as possible, but our standard version today is going to do something that I'm always a fan of, which is going super big and going super wide. So, to help with Slickshot Show Off, we're also going to be utilizing, since it's still legal in Standard, we have Third Path Iconoclast. I love this card so much because of what it does. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to basically create a soldier token. So, this, of course, course, with the spell slinging of Slickshot Show Off going super big here, and you have Third Path Iconoclast, you will be able to go super big and super wide. But why not we do this and take it another step further? So you can obviously see, you all can see where I'm going to go with this. Okay, so with that, what if we add in Balmor here, Battle Mage Captain, to the mix, and then we're now going to be able to then make everything super massive as we spell sling. So if you've seen this card, of course, whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, creatures we control get +1/+0, and they gain trample until end of turn. So we can go big, we can go wide. Oh, we got a new subscriber here. So Burke Helvesk, thank you again for your subscription. I do appreciate you adding me on to your list for stuff here. Thanks again for that. But as you can see, again, sorry, I'm super high right now on this card. I'm really hyped for this. So I haven't had a chance to really test this deck out that much, but you're going to see in a bit. Let's see how well it does. So, okay, sorry. Gathering my thoughts here. So Slickshot Show Off goes big. Third Path Iconoclast goes wide. Balmor Battle Mage Captain here has all of that together and makes them go big and wide together. So that's basically what we need. So in order to do a little bit of extra support, though, as you can see, this is a budget version, because for those of you who haven't seen my channel before, or for those of you who are, again, a little bit new to this, we, again, focus primarily on budget decks. But, of course, that's exactly why you're here, I'm sure. So with that, let's now go over all the spell slinging we're going to be doing. We have Considers here to help us surveil and draw a card, so that'll pump us up. We have a little bit of protection with Shore Up, gives us also a little bit of pump, also gives us Hexproof. We can untap, which is great. Kumamo Faces Kakuzan, it's not an instant or sorcery, but definitely this card helps because of the fact that it can help ping, does trigger off, of course, Third Path Iconoclast and Slickshot Show Off. And if we say, like, we cast a creature on the next turn, we get a little extra pump out of that, which sometimes can mean the difference between, you know, getting that win or getting that defeat. Not to mention, finally, it flips into a 2/2. Again, it doesn't do much else besides that, but again, it's just great value for a 1 mana investment, so that's why we got to throw it into the deck. And it is still legal, of course, in Standard, so we got to throw in Monastery Swiftspear. No offense, again, to the new variant, but I kind of am still a little bit partial to the original card, so I actually like this art better a little bit more than the new one. Just, again, my personal preference. Finally, the other card, we need to make sure we have to push through all that damage no matter how strong we get. If we end up getting Chump Block, we're not going to be able to do much of anything. So that's why we have Monstrous Rage here, giving us a +2/+0 until end of turn, and we get to create a Monster Roll token, which means that Monster Roll token will allow us also to get another +1/+1, and it gives one of our creatures Trample. So this is going to help us, again, just force through the damage no matter what we do to ensure we can get to our victory. And the 2-drop slot, we have a little bit of extra burn. This is also a new card from Thunder Junction, which is Slick Sequence here. So this Is It card is an instant that reads, deals 2 damage to any target. If you cast another spell this turn, you get to draw a card. So this can do extra damage and help us make sure that we can keep refueling ourselves to make sure we keep the gas going. And then finally, in the 2-drop slot, we have Demonic Ruckus here, another card also from Thunder Junction that I also really think is cool. You get to basically attach this to a creature. Yes, it's not an instant or sorcery, but as an aura, it still helps us out. So think of this as kind of like a slightly more expensive version of Monstrous Rage for a little bit later in the game. It's a 2-mana aura that also gives our creature +1/+1 with Menace and Trample, and if it ends up getting put into the graveyard from the battlefield, we get to draw a card. The other sweet cherry on top, of course, is the plot for 1 mana. So if we don't have anything to play on the first turn, we can at least plot this and then cast it later on for a much cheaper cost, making it a lot easier to put stuff on in case we don't have a Monstrous Rage immediately. And then finally, we are a budget deck. So of course, just to make it a little simpler for those of you who do like to watch my videos for the budget reasons, we have Frolicking Familiar here from the Wilds of Eldraine. This is a cute little otter, and I honestly think otters are probably going to be maybe a key card that are going to be coming out for when Bloomburrow comes out in several months, but we'll talk about that a little bit later on. In any case, Frolicking Familiar here helps us out because, again, this card gives us a little bit of everything. It gives us a flying otter, and also it is allowing us to do 1 extra point of damage. I know it doesn't seem like much, but adding 2 cards in one, of course, helps us out value-wise with what we're trying to do with the deck. Now again, finally, as I mentioned, one more time, this is a budget deck, so we're going to try to keep it as cheap as possible. We have Spire Bluffs Canals, and we have Shivan Reefs as our lands, and the rest is just mountains and islands. Remember, again, we don't want to have tapped lands when it comes to spell slinging. We want to make sure everything can come into play untapped as much as possible. Spire Bluff Canal may come into play tapped later on, but by the time we have enough lands, that probably won't matter for us, so this is actually great for us. So in total, if you do want to invest in this deck, you're going to invest minimum 12 rares. It does seem like not too bad, right? But again, I'm well aware that Slickshot Show Off is, holy cow, this card is really expensive right now if you've seen how much it goes for in the packs. If you actually crack one, you're going to be able to make a ton of money off of this card if you do want to sell it, of course. I think right now, how much is this card going for right now? I should check later on. I think the last time I saw the price was, what, $12 for a copy? Oh, man. That's a little expensive. Too much for rich for my blood. But in any case, otherwise, if you do want to play this deck, say in best of 3, I know we're not going to be playing much of best of 3F at all today, because again, we're just focusing on just trying to get in as many games as possible. But if you are interested at all, this is going to be what I would recommend for the sideboard for this variant of the deck. So you have Fading Hope here to bounce away something that you just can't deal with, and if its mana value is 3 or less, you get to Scry, which helps us fix up our next turn. Some Spell Pierce, if you have to deal with any kinds of counter spells, if you have to deal with a lot of spot removal in the first match, bring in your counter spells to give us a little bit of protection, and if you time it right, you might be able to get a little extra pump to do some more damage. For Artifact Hate, you have a Braid here, but also it can do some damage against a creature in a pinch. Scorching Shot is also another card that I'm also really high on right now. I love this card because it actually can take out Shieldred, so deals 5 damage to target creature. Clean, easy, really great for our deck if you do have to deal with pesky, high toughness creatures. And then finally, a little bit of extra spice here in Filter Out. We don't actually have too many decks out there that are dealing with pure artifacts, but in case you do, I know there's one specific artifact right now that's going around in Thunder Junction that's causing a bit of menacing power. I forget the card. It's a new blue artifact some of you may have seen already. Actually, let me check it out real quick. Sorry, not trying to deviate too much here, but again, I believe, is it a 3 mana? I think it's... Hold on. Give me 1 second here, guys. Wait. Do I not have a copy yet? Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. This is the card right here. So this is the reason why we have Filter Out for the time being. So Simulacrum Synthesizer, this at least, the Filter Out can at least bounce that away if you really, really have to get rid of those extra copies, and hopefully you can clean out the board. Even if you have to deal with a bunch of creatures like Constructs and everything, artifacts, at the very least, Filter Out can then bounce that stuff away, so it clears the path, and then you can just start spell slinging again to get your stuff going. But otherwise, that's the whole game plan for us. Again, we're just spell slinging, get that Slickshot show off, but how well is it going to do in Izzet colors? Is it actually a good deck? Sorry, I had to say that. Is it actually good? We'll find out right now. So let's go ahead, let's take this into some standard and ranked, and then we'll see how well the deck does. Okay, whew. I had to say all that all out. Okay, but in any case, ooh, actually we got to do our dailies today too. So with that, let's go ahead. We're going to start jumping in right now. Jump into some ranked. Slickshot show off. And let's get this going, everybody. It is time to burn bright. How well this deck can do, I honestly think Slickshot show off can actually carry many of the decks that like spell slinging quite a bit. If I can actually manage to crack a pack maybe in the future, I would love to actually add one maybe to one of my EDH decks, but that's again something we'll talk about a little bit later on. In any case, while we're setting up right here, how's everyone doing today? I hope you're all having, again, a wonderful day wherever you're at, wherever you're watching the content. But in any case, let's see now what we got. Okay, so we do have Kumamo faces Kakazan, so we can do a little extra damage. We have a Slick Sequence, which is really good for us later on. We have a Frolicking Familiar. Again, nice 3-drop, but ideally, we wish we had the Show Off, but we don't. Should we keep this hand? Is this something that maybe we want to keep? Well, I think we'll hold on to this for the time being. We can play Kumamo, and then we could sequence everything. Even if we don't get card draw off a Slick Sequence, it is technically also a removal spell, so we can use that as well. We'll play the Mountain first. Kumamo faces Kakazan. 1 for 1. Okay, opponent, what have you got? What are you playing today? So, Inspiring Vantage. Okay, Monastery Swiftspear. Okay, we can't let that start pumping itself up too much, so we're going to have to get rid of that. Unfortunately, though, we don't have a creature to bring in versus Monastery Swiftspear, so bring in Spire Bluff Canal, Slick Sequence, get rid of that, and then we pass the turn. Okay, so I'm assuming our opponent is playing maybe a Spellslinger deck. They're playing, okay, Kesset Flame Breather. Okay, I guess they're just trying to ping us out with some light burn, which is totally fine. So here's how we do this. So with that, we will Frolicking Familiar, ping, Slick Sequence, get rid of that, draw a card, Exiled, we swing with the Etching, down to 17. Okay, we're making progress here. Again, it's not exactly anything super crazy. Ooh, Mechanized Warfare? Okay. They are definitely trying to burn us out here, which is fine. I'm totally okay with that. Frolicking Familiar, Spire Bluff Canal, down to 15. Okay, so game plan right now is in progress. Wow, our opponent's getting really greedy here, but is that going to be their undoing? Okay, can we close this out? How fast can we do this, everybody? So with that, we swing here. Frolicking Familiar with blowing off steam. Pump up the Frolicking Familiar, down to 14. Monstrous Rage. We'll put it on top of the Frolicking Familiar. 4, 6, 7. Okay, let's see, that's 9. So with that, they're down to 5. And do we bring out the other Frolicking Familiar? Am I that greedy? We'll hold off. We're going to hold off for a second in case they have any removal. I want to keep that shore up just in case. Okay, so with that, well, all right. Do you have more removal, opponents? Pumped. Okay. Well, all right. We definitely were able to protect our otter, which is great. Keswick Flame Breather. We have 1 card left, opponents. Ooh, okay. So we got this, everybody. We have got this win. Yes. All right. We swing. Slick sequence, because we are slick like that. And there we go, everybody. Draw a card, down to 3, and we beat them out here. Oh, yeah. Woohoo! Yes. All right. Well, that wasn't Slickshot sequencing, but you saw right there, the Spellslinger deck does still work. It definitely can pull off wins here. So, yay, we got our first win for the day. Not too shabby, right? That's actually how you want the deck to go. So, awesome on that. Okay, so with that, we will then continue on. Let's see how well the deck does. So we got 1 win for today, which is really, really awesome for us. And with that, let's see what else our opponent is trying to do here. Okay, ooh, okay, so we have the Slickshot show off right here. We have Monastery Swiftspear. We have a Consider, so okay, I think this is good. So our opponent is going to go first, but we're going to hold on to what we have. It is land heavy, but we can start putting out threats ASAP. Okay, so they got Monastery Swiftspear too. All right. Well, I guess that's probably going to be the name of the game today is going to be just Swiftspear's super aggro matches. So I'm okay with that. It's going to be a battle of attrition, everybody. Who's going to be able to outplay who first? Look, there's the adversary. All right. Well, they're mono red aggro, I'm guessing. So with that, we will then, hold on 1 second, Island. Show off, spotting it for later. We swing, down to 18. All right, opponent, well, the race is on. How fast can we beat down our opponent here? Okay, so we got another Monster Swiftspear. Monstrous Rage. All right, well, our opponent is going to try to see if they can beat us here, and they're definitely faster than us, which is, it's not ideal, but it is still something we can still get around. So with that, how do we get out of this, everybody? How do we get out of this? Okay. So with that, show off. I don't think we'll be able to win here because they still got 2 cards in hand. So with that, Swiftspear. We're going to have to pass. I don't want to be on the defensive. This is not the deck you want to be defensive with, but I don't think we have a choice here. If our opponent has Burn, we might be in trouble. Ooh, Shivan Devastator. All right. Not what I wanted to see. Oh, boy. No, we might get hit here pretty hard. Okay, so can we even survive this hit here? Let's try. We will... What do we do? Okay, throw away the Spire Bluff Canal. Draw a card. It's an island. Okay, well, not ideal, everybody, but here's how we're going to have to do this. Okay, so with that, Bloodthirsty Adversary. Monster Swiftspear. Do we... Shivan Devastator? Do I block the Shivan Devastator? They're all tapped out. Okay. Down to 2. Oh, wow, we're getting nothing but islands? Ugh, this is terrible, everybody. Okay, well, I guess we're not going to win this one, but that's okay, everybody. We're going to try here. Okay, Third Path Iconoclast, which is not the worst, but again, there's not really anything we can do with it for now. Okay, so with that... Oh, okay. Do we even... No attacks. Wow, this is really awkward for us. Phoenix Chick. Charming Scoundrel. Okay, well, they don't have any burn spells, which is nice, but we've kind of run dry here, which is really awkward, unfortunately. Okay, so again, do we even survive this hit? I don't think we do. Okay. How do we do? Okay, block here. And okay, wait. Block here. I think we lose regardless here. Ouch. Okay. Wow, our deck betrayed us. Oh, deck. Alright, well, this is unfortunate, everybody, but that's okay. We'll let our opponent finish this off here. Not what I wanted to see, but, well, it is what it is. So, I'm not mad. Hey, that just happens sometimes. Wow, we really flooded out that game. The way the deck is designed, we only have 20 lands, so I was really shocked we actually flooded out there. Ouch. That hurt. But okay. Moving on to the next match. Let's go ahead, let's continue this. Okay, wait, hold on. Did we just lose internet connection there? I think we lost internet connection there. Sorry about that, everybody. We had a little bit of a snafu there, so. Okay. I think we're okay now. I think we're stable. Okay. I think we're okay. Hold on. Cool, hold on. Testing a couple things. Okay, I think we're... Okay. Sorry, everybody, again. We just had a little bit of a snafu there with the internet, but I think we're fine now, so we'll just continue on. So, whew, okay, that was too close. I was really worried that we were going to lose internet connection there, and then the whole stream was going to get canned there. But it looks like everything kind of just worked itself out, so that hopefully shouldn't happen again. But in any case, let's see now. We're playing our next match. So you can see here we got 2 islands, and I third path iconoclast. We can't cast anything, which is really awkward for us, but that's fine. Okay, this is fine. We'll just mulligan. All right. Well, not ideal, but I think we'll mulligan one more time. Wow. We're just getting hosed here, aren't we? Okay, well, I think we'll just keep this. Put away a Monstrous Rage. Put away Balmor. All right, well, not high on this, but we're going to see if we can make it work, everybody. We'll try. But I'm not feeling too good about this one, only just because we had the mulligan really hard, so that hurt us quite a bit. But it's fine. It's fine. Let's see how we can pull this off. All right. Island. Third path iconoclast gets a little bit of a pump, which is nice. That'll be great for Nail later. What do you got, opponent? Ooh, cut down. Unfortunate, but this is fine, everyone. Kumama faces Kakazan, comes in. Play a mountain. Plot away to show off. Go swinging. Alright, and end turn. Okay, so how are we going to win this one? We don't have that many cards to work with here, but we still have a little bit of power left. Alright, keep going. Alright, Monastery Sorcerer is not the worst. So at least that keeps putting pressure on our opponent here. Remember, with this kind of a deck, you want to be super aggro because you need to keep putting pressure on your opponent in order to get your wins. Virtue of Loyalty. Okay, so what are you blocking, opponents? Monastery Swiss here. Well, again, not the worst block, but okay. We need to keep pushing through damage. We can't afford our opponent to just, like, chill. Every point of damage counts. So with that, we're going to hold off on the show-off just a little bit longer. Remember, again, this card has flying and it has haste, so you don't feel pressure to immediately put it in, even though it comes in for free. Keep that in mind, again, if you do want to play the card. Okay, well, we got a shore up, which is nice. So with that, I think now's the turn to bring this in. You're not going to get full value, unfortunately, here, but that's okay, everybody. We have protection. That's what's key. No answer, opponent? Wandering Emperor. Okay. Well, we've got a little bit of protection for that, so let's see, opponent. What are you going to try to hit? Let me guess. Slickshot show off? Or is that what you're going to hit? Okay, they exiled that, which is interesting. But we're prepared for that. Down to 3. Oh, wow. Not too shabby, right? Not too shabby. The deck is definitely being able to do its thing. But one of the things is, even though we're all in on show-off here, that's why we want to have more creatures to kind of help kind of soften the blow and kind of spread out the damage a bit as much as possible. This way you can ensure that you keep putting pressure on your opponent, and they have to pick sometimes targets they may not want to pick immediately.
Until next time, then. Keep watch for
Okay, opponent.
intruders.
Well, this is only awkward because we don't have any other spells, so... Oh, boy. Well, once again, our deck is kind of betraying us in a weird way here, but that's fine. Okay, so how do we do this? Okay, I think let's get in the free damage. We're going to hold on to the Spire Bluff Canal. I don't want our opponent to think that we're completely out of action yet. I want him to think that maybe we have protection in some way, shape, or form. Soaring the Merchants. Okay, are they going to take down something? Maybe? Okay, so they do have a lifelink token. One of the biggest, again, issues also with this deck is... Okay, well, we're still not getting spells. This really isn't helping at all. Oh, come on, deck. Come on, deck. Give me something to work with here. We're just going to have to pass our turn. Okay. But as I was mentioning earlier, one of the biggest weaknesses to this deck is if an opponent has lifelink, that means they will gain life back, and it makes it very hard for us to close out the game because we don't have a way of pushing through this. Maybe we should have put in some cards that stop life gain completely. Something to consider maybe later on. Wow, our opponent actually cashed in Sorin. I guess they might want the lifelink more than anything. Okay, so they have Archangel Elspeth. So this creates, again, more tokens, and we're not looking too good right here, buddy. Their Path Iconoclast is nice, but we don't have the mana. Well, we actually don't have the cards for it. Alright, well, this is definitely not looking good. We're starting to fall behind here a lot. Our opponent still has 5 cards technically in hand, and we only have 1 card and no spells to sling. Alright, opponent. You got an answer? Are you going to swing? Anything? Come on, opponent. Something? Anything. Come on. I don't have all day, you know. I'm not trying to be impatient, everybody. It's just I would like to get in as many matches as I can today. Alright, so down to 16. They go back up to 10. Ugh. Oh, dear. Alright. Well, running out of time here, everybody, but that's fine. I don't know how we get out of this, though. We don't really have an option here, so... Spire Bluff Canal. In. Okay, so... What do you got, opponent? Are you going to be swinging? I don't know if we can afford any more things here. I honestly also don't want to have to do any kind of... I don't want to have to actually, you know, concede yet. We'll give it one more turn, everybody. If we can at least sequence together something with Slickshot sequence, maybe, just maybe, we might have a shot. Okay, opponent is doing the thing. Okay. Wait, how much damage is that? 10, 13? Okay. I don't know if we can actually get out of this. Ouch. Down to 3. They're back up to 18. And they have a wedding announcement? Oh, boy. Well, I'm not feeling too good about this one, everybody. Takashi's welcome to. Wow, they're all in on tokens. Virtue of Loyalty. They untap everything. And, well, it's a Monstrous Rage. Not ideal, but... Alright, well... This is literally me just doing a desperate swing here, everybody. I don't think we have anything options here. So, alright. That's all we can do. I mean, we'll be able to make some tokens, which is nice, but this is not going to be enough, unfortunately. Opponent is doing double blocking here. Okay. That's fine. Alright. Block, block, block. More blocking. More blocking. More blocking. Pump the Slickshot show off. Lots of triggers go off, which is definitely what you want the deck to do. Slickshot sequence. I don't even know what we're doing here on this one. Okay, so I guess to face. More pump. Draw a card. Oh boy, it's a Shivan Reef. Well, we got rid of some cards, but it wasn't enough, everybody. So, unfortunately, well, we're good. We're just gonna concede. Yeah, not what I wanted to see, everybody, but it is what it is. So I think we'll just have to move on to the next match. Did we have to have that match? No, no, we did not. Okay. In any case, moving on again, we'll just keep continuing to do our thing. At the very least, we can get at least some dailies done, so that's cool. Let's see if we can keep showing off our Slickshot. Maybe Izzet is not the ideal color for it. Usually when it comes to spell slinging, it's pretty obvious that I wanted to go with an Izzet because also, for me, those are my favorite colors, but it's not working as well as I was hoping it would. But we're still going to give it a little bit more time. We'll just play around with it a little bit more, and then we'll jump on to maybe explore and see what we can do with it. Okay, so with that, well, we have good lands here. We also have some protection and Balmor. Frolicking Familiar will be nice. We'll keep the hand. At the very least, if we can bring in Balmor, if it gets blown up, we do have extra one, so that'll be nice for later. Bonus got a Swamp. Okay, opponent. What do you got? Forsaken Miner. Okay. Guess they want to start committing some crimes, which is cool with us. But otherwise, let's play Spire Bluff Canal, and we'll pass. Okay, opponent. What do you got? Visage of the Dread. Okay. Alright, well, they're going to pick something out here. What do you got, opponent? Okay, well, we got rid of our Otter, which is a shame, but this is fine. Okay, Island. We'll bring in... Actually, hold on. How do we do this? Bring in Balmor first. I want to see if I can bait out at least something out of them. Okay, come on, opponent. What do you got? Visage of the Dread. Okay. What are you picking out this time? Alright. Well, not ideal. But this is fine. Okay, any case. So, how do we do this, everybody? Shivan Reef. I guess we go swinging. Down to 19. Okay. What will be your next move, opponent? Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. I guess our opponent is just going to start picking off our hand, which is not ideal, but this is fine. Well, there goes our Consider. Tiny Bones. Alright. Another Spire Bluff Canal, which is not what I need, but that's fine. We'll go swinging here. I want to see... obviously, they're not going to block, but that's fine. Red House turn. Opponents, what do you got? Do you go swinging, opponents? Can I bait them into attacking? Well, that's not the one creature I want to deal with, but that's okay. Hopefully they won't hit anything too bad. Okay, opponent. What are we taking? Alright. Third Path Iconoclast. Not what I wanted to steal, but okay, it's fine. Kumamo faces Kakazan, which doesn't trigger off Balmor, which is a little awkward, but that's fine. Okay. Go swinging here again. Down to 16. Okay. Next. What do you got, opponent? Deep Cavern Bat. Oh boy. Okay, well... I guess we're just going to just take away everything, I guess. This is actually not quite what our deck is trying to do here, so... Will they swing? Obviously not, because now they know our other shore up. Oh, wow, they actually do swing. Okay. So, we'll give ourselves a little bit of pump here. Unless if they have a response. And they do. Okay. We're down to 11. And opponent's going to start stealing more of our stuff. Wow. Where is exactly all of our other cards? I have a shore up, but this is not what I want to see right now. This is actually helpful later on, but not now. Oh, boy. Wow. Okay. It's fine, everybody. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay. Opponent goes swinging. No blocks. Because, again, we just want to see if we can just start pumping and going off. But, unfortunately, our deck is not quite where we want it to be right now. Balmor. Okay. Okay, it's fine. Okay. Another Forsaken Miner. Come on, deck. Okay. The Slickshot show-off is nice, but we don't need it right now. Just plot it away. Now we'll pass. Okay, well, our opponent's going wider than us, which is really awkward for us, apparently. But okay. We'll see if we can still find a way around this. Okay, land. Opponents. Okay, they swing. Okay. Walk with the Tiny Bones. Alright, well, Tiny Bones at least is gone, so that's helpful at least. Okay. With that. Opponents? Nothing? Okay. Frolicking Familiar is okay. Slickshot Show Off. And we pass. All right. What do we got? Anything, opponent. You got 2 cards in hand. What exactly our opponent's got left? I mean, at this point, they've kind of already blown us over here, but it's fine. Hey, Infernoman, how's it going? Testing the Birdman, I see. Yes. Jay Gravel, welcome. So, yes, we're testing out again. We actually have a couple of variants of him. So in case we haven't seen, we're going to be showing off a couple of extra decks. Right now we're just playing a standard version, but we have some Explore variants in a bit. But with that, okay. Opponent is swinging here. Forsaken Miner. We can block at least with Balmor for now. But otherwise, welcome. Down to 8. Don't worry. At the very least, also, Jay Gravel, also what's cool is the other decks we have, they're actually not the Is It one, so we do have other color variants that will show off in a bit. Ooh, okay, so we got Slick Sequence here. That's nice. So with that, how do we get out of this? We're in a bad spot right now, but we're not in the worst. So, I think our best option here is we're just gonna have to hold off a little bit longer. If our opponent drains themselves of all their cards, maybe Balmor can hold it down while we start rebuilding all of our other cards up. We have enough. We can start spell slinging in a little bit, but it also depends on what exactly is our opponent trying to do here. Okay, Field of Ruin. That's a choice. So, Forsaken Miner is going to come back, which is annoying, but this is fine, everyone. You're right, you're right. We're not dead on board yet. We'll get an island. We're not dead yet. And again, I've said it before. I know sometimes, unless if it's like completely hopeless, don't give up just yet. We're going to try. We have 2 creatures that can be very scary if they start going off. And our opponent still has 3 cards in hand. Corpse of the Lost. So, make another token. And another token. Okay, so their skeletons now also get a pump, which is bad, but is there a way out of this? Okay. How do we do this? Okay, so this is lethal right here, obviously. So, take out the miner, because they would have to pay for that if they want to bring it back. Do you have another answer, opponent? Any other pump? Nothing yet. Okay. It's tempting to pump up the other cards to block everything else, but we gotta hold off just a little bit longer. Okay. They ping themselves. They take that Corpse of the Lost back. Okay. Okay, another shore up. How much damage can we do right now? So, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Okay. I'm thinking again, like, how do we pull this off here at all? Is there a way to get out of this? That's, I think, the biggest question we have to ask. I know. I want to swing, but again, if we can at least pull off at least maybe one more card draw spell, maybe we can sequence everything together. Make another token. As long as our opponent doesn't have any removal, we might be able to survive. Maybe. But it is looking very hard right now. Okay, big swing. Again, I guess our opponent right now just wants to finish this off. Alright, well. I don't really have a choice here, so. How do we get out of this? Is there any way out of this? Okay. Wait, hold on. Okay. I think... Wait, hold on. Draw Steam. Take out the third path Iconoclast. We get some pump. Okay, well, again, I don't expect us to survive here, but again, we're going to try with what we got, so. Take out the token. Down to 1. Wow, we are on the edge right here, everybody. I honestly don't even know why I'm doing this, but we're going to try to see at least how much we can sponge before it's all over. We got another Slick sequence. If we only had one more mana, maybe that would have helped. Oh, well. Well, I mean, yeah, we went down, but we took out a couple cards out of that. That's okay. That's fine, everybody. Okay. Well, again, let's give this deck one more try, and we're going to jump into the Explorer one. So we're going to try... The Izzet one's not really doing too well. It's not performing that well, but it's fine. That is true, though, J Gravel. We did make our opponent have to work for it. So even though they had way more creatures than us, they definitely had to at least try to hold off because they were not sure what we had. But hey, at least we kind of made them grind it out just a little bit just to force through that damage. They weren't as reckless as we were expecting to be. Okay, deck. Can we get this at least once off? So what we have... Good mana. We have Consider, a short for protection. Frolicking Familiar can give us a little bit of extra later on. And a Monastery Swiftspear to open up the match. So I think we can keep this. Hopefully maybe we can get, if not the bird, maybe not this match, but maybe the next couple. Spirebluff Canal. Monastery Swiftspear. Get that damage in now. Alright, they do their sacks. Okay, so what do we got here? Slick Sequence, which is nice. Spirebluff Canal number 2. We'll hold off just a little bit, because I want to see if we can build up some stuff here. Afterthought Analyst. They do some milling. Okay, so we're going to try to do some land shenanigans here in a bit. Can we get around that? Ooh, okay. This is sweet. All right, so Slickshot show off. Plotting that for later. Will our opponent block? They do. Actually, we're just going to do an awkward thing there. It was tempting for a second there to consider a Frolicking Familiar, but we need to hold that off for Slickshot here. Okay, so if we can get another land, we might actually be able to do some massive damage here in a bit. Worldstone Rage. Okay, well, they get a land. A little awkward, but this is fine. They do some damage. Okay. Shorp is not quite what I want to see just yet, but how do we do this, everybody? I think I want to go all in, but we don't have enough yet, so here's how we do this. So just do a little bit of damage for now. Consider. Get our pumps in. Ooh, Monstrous Rage. Okay, that's good. And it's not a big hit, everybody, but you got to remember, we have now a bunch of 1-drops here. Slick Sequence is great if we can draw another card. So we're setting ourselves up here. Next turn, maybe we might be able to pull it off if we can get at least one more land. Oh, if we can get one more land. Oh, this will be so sweet. But we got to hold off. Let's see what our opponent's trying to do. All right. Cabaret Courtyard. Okay. What you going to get, opponent? Get some life. Do they swing? What do you got, opponent? You got a full hand still of 5 cards. Okay, nothing. Well, okay. That's what we needed, everybody. Okay, so with that, island. Can we do this here? Let's see if we can sequence this. Our opponent has still 4 mana open. They do have an island, so they can have either a counter spell or they have removal. Or they might even have something with reach. But we're going to see if we can go for it here. At least maybe if we can finish off our opponent right here, right now, maybe we might be able to pull off something here. But our opponent right now is thinking, do they think we have lethal? Let's see. Okay. I can't do the math in my head right now, but I'm going to try. Okay, so we got 1 damage, 2 damage. This gives us 3 more damage. So that's, let's see. Okay, wow. Numbers are hard right now, but you get what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so with that, this gives us pump. So pump. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 9, 10. Oh, I think we might have lethal. Maybe. I think we have lethal. If our opponent here wants to block, they can. We'll see what they try to do here. Okay. Okay, now how do we do this? Monstrous Rage will force the damage onto the Monstrous Swiftspear. We can do extra damage there. But the Slickshot Show-Off also can do stuff here. Or we can at least guarantee we can do things here. Okay. This is really hard, actually. Okay. So first off, Frolicking Familiar. First initial pump. What are you going to... Do you respond, opponent? They take the damage. So, 14. 13, 12, 11. Okay. If this pushes through, 10. Okay. Monstrous Rage. On... Okay. I think we need to make sure we can force through the damage no matter what. Okay. Do you have an answer, opponents? This is the turn. Oh, wow. Okay. Coast is clear, everybody. They're going to get a little extra life here. I think that's what they're trying to do. So that's 5, 15, 16. Oh, jeez. Okay, okay. We're at 11 damage. Okay. Shore up. Can we do it? 15. Oh my god. I think we did it. I think we did it. Ah, we did it. Woo! Oh my goodness. We pulled it off right there. Wow, that was awesome. Woo! Oh man, I honestly thought for a second, I'm like, can we do it? Can we get the damage through? But our opponent there got greedy. They didn't chump block, and we managed to push through the damage. Oh, that was a great way. Oh, that was a great way to end that fight, everybody. Wow. That's what, finally, you get to stop right there. That's what we're trying to do with this deck. That is how you play it, and that's why Slickshot Show-Off is really awesome as a card. Oh, man, that was so good. That was so good. Woo. Okay. Okay, sorry. I'm going to come down from that high real quick. Okay, so we do that. That was great. So with that, we'll end it there for the standard deck. I'll give my quick little thoughts on it after when we're done with the stream. But that was a pretty decent performance for what the deck was trying to do. We finally got at least one in where you got to see what the deck is capable of in standard. Now, let's talk about the one that I'm actually really more excited for. This is my own build that I've actually put together that I put for Explorers. So let's talk about this real briefly here. So obviously, since we talked about Slickshot Show-Off here, what if we take advantage of white? What does white give us that maybe, say, blue couldn't do? So with white, we now have access to Clever Luomancer. This card has a ton more power pumped into it if we can use the Magecraft trigger ability. This gives it a +2/+2 until end of turn, which is really good for us if we're going to at least get one to stick. As far as the other stuff that we can also use Illuminator Virtuoso as kind of like a pseudo kind of Slickshot Show-Off to a degree. This card, the only downside is we have to target it with our spells in order for it to get its triggers off. But having double strike and maybe adding on that monstrous rage makes a huge difference in doing a bunch of massive damage in case we actually want to consider that. Otherwise, the other cards that you have an advantage of with white is we're going to use Defiant Strike here, so it gives us a little bit of pump and it helps us draw a card. We have Fight as one, a single copy of this because, again, we have a mix and match of human and non-human creatures, so this is great for us to give us a little extra pump and protection. Yes, I do agree. J Gravel, Virtuoso is biggest hitter. Yes, the card actually hits really hard if opponents do not plan for this. But again, I'll explain a little bit more for this in just a second. Homestead Courage, +1/+1 counter on our creatures, and it gives our cards vigilance. Plus, Flashback really helps us also because we can recast it right afterwards if we need to in a pinch to give us a little bit more pump. A single copy of Sentinel's Eyes, even though technically we already have Homestead Courage to give us vigilance, this gives us at least a way to bring it back if we absolutely have to, if we have to grind it out, giving us another chance of giving one of our creatures vigilance and a +1/+1 pump. Kumamo Faces Kakazan, still got to have it here, definitely awesome. Definitely got to still have Monastery Swift here also as an option here. Basically, with white, you have a better option of doing a lot more pump very quickly versus, say, blue, because now you have bigger threats faster than, say, what the blue deck did. Obviously, with Slickshot Show Off still here, basically any one of our creatures here can hit very quickly out of nowhere if your opponent is not prepared for it. The other major advantage we have is now we also have a little bit of protection with Lightning Helix. It does 3 damage, but it also gains us 3 life, so it helps us sponge a little bit if we have to against maybe aggro decks out there that we just normally in best of 1 have a hard time dealing with. Otherwise, we're also going to readjust a bit of our, as you can see here, we've made a little bit of extra room for some of the other types of lands in here. So we're going to have a single copy of Vijano, Seed of the Empire, for a little bit of removal in a pinch. Inspiring Vantage, we only need 2 copies. This will be fine for us, but if you do have extra copies for yourself, by all means put them in. Sacred Foundry here, definitely going to be able to access this now, so take advantage of the fact that we have a shock land if we're playing this in Explorer. And if you do want to play this in, say, best of 3, your options here will be Fragmentize for your artifact enchantment hate. Gird for Battle here puts +1/+1 counter on 2 target creatures, which is great for us. Extra God's Willings if you do need more protection. Scorching Shot, as I mentioned earlier, takes out Shieldreds and other high damage creatures out there, so definitely keep that. The Tormod's Crypts are going to be your best option for Graveyard Hate if you really need them, because also what's great is it's a free card, so it won't hurt us in terms of trying to cast other spells. We'll also have a copy of Justice Strike here. Again, this is only just because I've had to deal with a couple of very annoying cards such as Phyrexian Obliterators, so this is again just kind of like a little secret tech against them, and there are some creatures such as enemy Slickshot Show-Offs where you can then just hammer it against them to beat them down. We do have a couple of copies of Rip Apart for more artifact enchantment hate, and also it does count as creature removal in a pinch. And then finally, a single copy of Angel Fire Ignition. This is your only 3-drop here, but it puts 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, giving it Vigilance, Trample, Lifelink, Indestructible, and Haste. So sometimes we just need one final spell to just finish off our opponent. This is really great for us if we absolutely need it. So with that, let's see if the Boros version of Slickshot Show Off can, how do I say it, show off itself. Sorry, I had to make that cheesy joke, but you get what I'm saying. Can this deck work? Let's find out now. Let's take this into Explore and see how well Boros does for us. So we're going to readjust here. We'll do Explorer ranked. And wait, where's our deck at? There it is. Okay. Time for some Boros Slickshotting. Can this variant work as well as maybe the Is It one? Is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. I've had a chance to kind of play with this a little bit while I was testing it past couple nights. And I honestly like this version, but I'm going to see right now if we're going to really put it to the true test here. Okay. So, we don't have a single any one of our threats here, but that's okay. Is it better? Yes. I will never get tired of that pun. Is it better? Okay. But in any case, let's mulligan real quick. Okay. This is much better here. This is great. Okay, so we're going to keep this. We'll put back... What do we keep here? I think we'll put back the planes. We will shock ourselves, but we need to make sure we have the right mana fixed. Thoughtseize. Oh, I forgot that. Thoughtseize is in Explorer, so we're probably going to lose our key piece here. Which one are they going to take? They're going to take the Show Off, the Monster's Rage, the Virtuoso. Swift Spear is down, but that's okay, everybody. This is fine. So with that, put that down. We're going to bait our opponent, of course, with the Clever Luomancer. If they don't take this, then this will get really, really big really quickly if they're not careful. Deep capper bat. Okay. Okay. Bat's gonna do its job here, which is fine. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Okay. Any case. So with that, mounted. Clever Lumimancer. We'll swing. They're obviously not gonna take the bait, obviously. But honestly, I did that just to see if they were gonna bait that. But that's okay. Okay. So opponent, what do you got? Archon of Emeria. Okay. Well, that shuts down our plan, but that's okay. We still have ways of getting around even that. Okay, down to 17. Okay, Slickshot show off great for future. So here's how we do this. We're going to do some swinging here. Do you block opponents? Alright. They do not. So we have to start getting our pumps in now. Down to 10. Okay. Not too bad. They're down already half of their life. Is it best of 3 or is it best of 1? Okay. Sorry, I forgot to mention J Gravel. So for today, if you were for those of you that are unaware, we're honestly sticking to best of 1. Not that I don't want to do best of 3, but also it's because for time constraints, because my streams are not as long as other people, we kind of have to I'm just trying to roll with as many matches as I can just to see how well our decks do. So that's kind of why, in case you're curious, why we're running best of 1. I tend to get best of 1. I know some people are like, that's not how Magic normally is played, but I mostly do it because we're just trying to get in, again, as many matches as possible so we can see how well these decks do. So that's why, in case you're curious, anybody. So looking at the clock right now, we're about halfway through the stream, believe it or not, everyone. It's not that I don't want to stream more, but it's mostly because, well, I have another actual big boy job that I do. So that's mostly what I want to do. Like, obviously, when I'm off the clock, I got to get ready for my actual real work. But in the very least, we can have some fun today playing this. Okay, Archon of Emeria goes. We'll be able to pump our Clever Lumimancer. Opponent. Do you have an answer? They have 1 card left. Nope. Okay. So with that, we'll bring in Slickshot Show Off now. I don't think they have any other additional removal, or else they probably would have taken out Lumimancer as is. Or maybe they do. Well, I feel stupid right now. I can't believe I just did that. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. It's okay. We still have another Slickshot Show Off anyway. They're going to turn on Smuggler's Copter. So they do some looting. Alright. Down to 11. Graveyard Trespasser. I hate this card a lot. I don't know why. I personally hate this card, but it just feels so annoying to deal with. So I just don't like dealing with this card. I mean, it is what it is. So Illuminator Virtuoso. So I think our best option here is we're just going to have to hold off for a bit. But this might work out in our favor. Maybe. If our opponent swings, then maybe we have a shot here. Smuggler's Copter, turning on. They'll probably swing with a Copter. Alright, it's fine. They do their looting. They do some damage. Down to 7. We're not that far off still. Liliana of the Veil. This is not what I wanted to see, so they're probably going to make us tick down, or tick up. Oh wow, they actually have a sacrifice. Okay. Clever Lumimancer goes.
I've always hated crowds.
Okay, so how do we do this, everybody? How do we get out of this? Okay, so... Okay. Alright, so let's see if we can just start conniving. We have a Virtuoso, so we do have a way to victory here. If our opponent allows us to do this. We'll protection from black. Okay, so... Start pumping. Okay, so we throw that away. Do another pump. Draw a card. Do the damage. Down to 8. Down to 5. Okay. Well, we're definitely still within striking distance. If our opponent throws away our other card here, that's fine. Makes us discard a card.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Do they turn on the Smuggler's Copter? They probably have to. Okay, they crew. If we can get one pump spell, we'll have a shot here. Just one pump spell is all we need, everybody. Oh, wait. Oh, I miscounted there. Well, I feel stupid. Okay. We'll pretend I feigned ignorance there. But in any case, well, I guess we'll move on to another match. That's okay, everybody. We'll continue on. We're going to have a little bit more fun here. Explorer, continuing through the ranks. All right. Close one. Yes, indeed, J Gravel. I do agree. That was close, but hopefully with the next one, we'll get our win here. So with that. So we do have a Slickshot show-off, which is great, but we only have one land. So, I think we're going to have to mulligan this because we need at least 2 lands. Oh, wow. Well, we got too many lands here, but that's fine. We'll just put one back. We do have a Clever Lumancer, which is great. So we'll keep this. Put back the mountain. We will put down the plains. Clever Lumancer. Okay. What do you got, opponent? What are we playing against? Mountain. All right. Does that mean they have removal? Grin Initiate. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Monastery Swiftspear. Okay. What are you blocking, opponents? Most likely they're going to block Clever Lumancer, because if we have Pump, they're going to expect that. Yep, see? No surprise. So with that, Defiant Strike. So this is, again, at least one of the good things about this deck is we have plenty of ways of initiating threats to our opponent here. So, even if they try to put up stuff like this, we can keep applying pressure. As long as we have enough spells to keep slinging, we should be okay. So, they got a zombie token here. Okay, it's a cavalcade deck. Okay, that's kind of cute. I haven't seen this card in a little while. I mean, we played it last time on stream, which was fun, but we didn't do too well with that deck. But again, that was maybe a little too janky for us. In any case, one of the best advantages we have now is we do have life gain, so we can probably beat our opponent here not too hard, right? Okay. In any case, go swinging here. We're just going to start going aggro here. Super duper aggro, everybody. So with that, pump, take up the shield. Woo! Even without the plot, we could just do our damage here and do a massive amount. Wow, down to 6 already, and we're up to 26. There's no way our opponent's going to be able to catch up with this. So they'll do their ping, down to 24, but that's fine. Light up the stage. Okay, well, they got another cavalcade, but they need creatures in order to beat us here. Scorch Spitter, again, that's so cute. Torch Courier, also cute, but that's not enough, everybody. So with that, let us just do our swing here. Basically, I think we can just finish off our opponent here. I don't think they can beat us here. I think we got an easy win. Again, not the most glamorous way, but it is an easy win. And sometimes you do get easy wins, so I'll just take it. So we pump up our Livermancer, Lightning Helix their face, and there we go. Again, nothing crazy, but that's exactly what you want this deck to do. If you can't get, again, your Slickshot show-off, you want the rest of your deck to still be able to pull off a game plan here still, and then apply pressure and just be super aggro. At the very least, you got to see that this is, again, what the deck is trying to do. So let's at least give it that. Not too bad, right? But in any case, got our next win there, so nice. We'll play a little bit more. We're going to keep going at least with this deck a little bit longer, because this is the one that I wanted to showcase more than the other ones, because this one, honestly, is actually really fun when you can see it goes off. Oh yes, I agree there, J Ravel. Lumancer is basically Slickshot at home. It's a cheap little card, but a lot of people really underestimate it for what it's capable of. Okay, so with that, well, we have our Monster Swiftspears, a Virtuoso. We are missing a land, but we can plot if we have to later on and then wait it out, maybe just a little bit here. So I know, don't yell at me, nobody, but we're going to keep this hand. It's only a one-lander, but... Okay, well, we got a second land, which is great. So I guess our luck paid off this time. But sometimes I do sometimes get a little too risky biscuits like this. Of course, never punished. Ooh, okay, so we got our Sacred Foundry too, which is great. So our opponent doesn't know we're actually playing a Boros yet, so we'll be able to hold off just a smidge longer here. With that, plot away a show off. And we're just going to try to just ping our opponent here, just do a little bit of damage as much as we can, at least until maybe they have some removal. They're playing... What are they playing? So they got a Clue Artifact land. They have a Battlefield Forge. So what are you playing, opponent? Are you playing a Convoke deck? It's not very Convoke-y, actually, I realize now. Alright, Shock Lamp. They have to play tap because they don't want to do damage to themselves. I totally understand why. But this gives us a bit of an edge right now. So with that, Monastery Swiftspear number 2. We will... How do we do this here? Okay. Actually, we will plot away Highway Robbery. This is a card I forgot to mention that was actually in the Boros one. A single copy of Highway Robbery, just in case we do need to do a little bit of card draw here. What's great about this card is I love the fact that this allows you to sacrifice a land if you have to do some card draw. So say like you tap yourself out completely and float all your mana, then you can sacrifice one of your lands and then just maximize the amount of damage you can do with the least amount of investment to just do your damage here. Ooh, they got Get Lost. Okay. Well, this is fine. I don't mind getting hit by Get Lost here, because at least that gives us a little bit of map tokens. Those might be what our opponent may not want to deal with later on. That is true, too, also, J Gravel. If you flood on lands, Highway Robbery is really, really awesome because you can actually then take advantage of those lands, or also you can just discard them if you have them in hand. So, really great option, super sweet later on. But otherwise, Illuminator Virtuoso. We don't have any spells to sling off yet, so I think we'll take advantage of our opponents here. Kind generosity. And then we'll pump up their Illuminator Virtuoso here. At the very least, oh, okay. We got a land, which is great. Thank you, opponent, for that. I really appreciate you being so nice to us. We'll swing still. Little by little, we're whittling them down. But at least with the Virtuoso up, that puts a threat down for our opponent. So they're going to have to answer this quick if they don't want to get blown up. And also, we have 2 great cards in hand. Oh, wow. We're getting a lot of creatures. We need spells right now. We don't need creatures. But here's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to put this out here, casting it, because I want our opponent to see that they have... There's a level of pressure on them that they're going to have to answer ASAP. Oh, wow. We're getting more lands. Well, at least those maps came in handy, right? Okay, opponent. Any answers? Wow, no answers. Okay. Down to 11. I have a feeling they might have a Wrath coming, or they're waiting on a Wrath. Because if they have a Get Lost here, that most likely means they probably are some kind of Boros, maybe control deck. Torch the Tower. Okay. Annoying, but this is fine. Because we still have ways of... Oh, okay, well, our opponent just gave up there. I guess they didn't have an answer. I mean, yay? Not quite what I wanted to do to get a win, but I guess I'll take it. You can see, though, at least, again, one more time, the whole point is we have threats, and if your opponent can't answer all of them, they most likely will lose. Okay, let's just continue on to the next match. So, we'll go on. All right. Hope you're all having fun again. For those of you, again, who are still new to the channel, and if you're interested in seeing more of this content, as always, we'll have plenty of deck techs that you can go through. We're definitely going to rock a lot more of Thunder Junction coming up. But if you haven't seen, has anybody been seeing some of the leaks from the upcoming Modern Horizons 3 set? I know across socials, there have been a lot of leaks for Modern Horizons 3, and the set looks insanely good. I mean, I already kind of have some cards that I want to... I already have a box that I was going to buy for it, but, well, not the big booster box, not the $500 one. Good lord, that was insanely expensive. I'm talking about the small little bundle that came with the collector booster. I think that might have been the best investment, just to get some cards, maybe crack some packs on, like, later on in the future, a couple of shorts, but I think that'll be a fun set coming up. But in any case, going back to this before I ramble on, let's see what we got. So, we got Sacred Foundries, which is great. We have Kumamo. We have Monastery Swiftspear. Sentinel's Eyes, Monster's Rage, and a Slickshot Show Off. This is actually a really sweet hand here. This is good because you have options here for damage, and you can definitely apply a lot of pressure. We're going to keep this hand. This is an awesome hand. Great hand. I don't want to be spoiled, so I'm waiting for pre-release. Okay. I totally respect that. I respect that, J Gravel. That you don't want to be spoiled by the, at least until we get to spoiler season. When is spoiler season? Does anybody know when spoiler season is for Modern Horizons 3? I feel like, are we like a month out from that? Wow, it feels like it's going to be too soon. But in any case, we'll see how that goes. We're going to have to shock ourselves here quite a bit just to get through. Okay, here's how we're going to do this. Most likely our opponent's going to want to chump block here. If they do, they'll get their cards. If they don't, okay, they do. Okay. So, how do we do this here? Do we do this now? It's tempting. We can put some more pressure on our opponent here. So I think we need to put pressure down to 14. Okay. But again, for those of you that are interested, I mean, I'm not going to put them obviously up on stream. We're not going to go over the leaks or anything. That's not what we're going to do obviously on stream. If anybody out there is interested in Modern Horizons 3, if you're looking at spoiled, like leaked cards, I'll leave that all up to you to do your own thing. But for me, I don't mind spoiling myself, but I'm not going to, of course, bring them up here. Some of that stuff that I did see looks interesting. But again, to be fair, not all of it is going to be official, so we're going to have to wait at least until we get closer to spoiler season and see how well that turns out. Okay, so with that, let's play Sentinel's Eyes. Pumping up Monastery Swiftspear. We're going to hold on to Etching and Kumamo just a smidge. Just in case we need to swing on the hit them on the backswing. They're down to, wow, they're down to 7 already. So, with that, we're closing in on beating our opponent here. Blood Tithe Harvester again. They got 2. Do you have an answer, opponent? Claim the first one. Oh, wow. Oh, I see what they're trying to do here. Okay, well, opponent, it's still got 1 toughness. Wow, they actually sacked both. Okay. I mean, that's a choice, opponent, if you really want to do that, but I think we're going to beat our opponent here, right now. Okay. Exile them. This is exactly why you want Sentinel's Eyes, everyone. Look at that. 4-3. Fight as 1. Pump up both of our creatures here. There we go, everybody. Yes! That's the deck, everybody. Wow, we managed to pull it off right there. That was exactly why I love playing this deck. Oh, yeah. That's it right there, everybody. Woo! Wow. Boros, Slickshot, just as powerful. Is it better than the standard one? I mean, that's up to you. For those of you who saw both, let me know in the comments below, again, if you see this, whether you're watching it live or if you're watching it later on, which one do you prefer so far? Do you like Boros or do you like the Izzet one? Slickshot Show Off, either way, is a really awesome card, no matter which way we cut it. I'm honestly, I'm still high on this card, but there is one variant. Oh, we got a temporary lockdown. That's actually sweet. We can keep that for maybe a future deck. But in any case, so far so good on the deck. I'm actually really happy with the Boros one. In all honesty, though, if I had to be real blunt, I think Slickshot Show Off, I don't think it's a bannable card. It's a great, powerful card, and honestly, I think it should exist in Standard. But I can understand why some people get annoyed with it. However, the biggest weakness, of course, of the card is you have to go all in on spell slinging just to beat it down. If you can just blow it up, bounce it or whatever, the card doesn't really get a chance to shine that well. So that's something, of course, to keep in mind when it comes to Slickshot Show Off. Great card. I love the card, but it's still beatable. You just got to have to plan for it accordingly. And I mean, that's kind of how it is when it comes to these decks. You're not going to be able to, there's no way you're going to be able to have one deck, even in best of 1, best of 3, that stops everything. That's just kind of how the game is. But in any case, okay. So we got 2 mountains, Kumamo, Demonic Ruckus, and a Slickshot Show Off. So we don't have white mana yet, but we can definitely plan ahead. J Gravel, I prefer Boros because opponent has to answer the creature on the ground and Slickshot at the same time, and you have protection for days. I will agree with that. I do like the variant that we're playing because this is still honestly not the most refined one, but this is the one I've had the most success with. Having cards like Homestead Courage. Okay, well, we had a non-game there. I mean, but this gives me a moment to talk. If you give me a moment to talk here, everybody, I'm just going to explain this real quick. So, kind of again, what I was just mentioning is the advantage I think we have Boros is we have a lot of ways of swinging and avoiding getting hit on the backswing with cards like Homestead Courage for Vigilance. Slickshot goes well with cards like Demonic Ruckus. Take Up the Shield gives us a great way of giving us lifelink and protection. And then also with the other cards we have, such as our threats like Virtuoso and our Lumimancer, those cards alone are already instant threats if your opponent doesn't answer them. So I definitely agree with you that honestly these cards are great because there's actually quite a few cards out there that can threaten our deck, but our opponent has to kind of dance around many of our other cards where each one of our creatures, at the minimum, the weakest card in the deck I would say is most likely, I guess, our Monastery Swiftspear, since it doesn't pop up as fast, but it does have haste, so it still becomes an immediate threat if your opponent does not answer it. So I definitely agree with that. However, in a little bit, we'll be discussing the meta version that's been making waves in Explorer, which is going to be the Gruul deck, which is utilizing green and red. If I had more time on stream today, I would have loved for us to take the time to build a Rakdos deck to see if we can make a Rakdos Spellslinger version of Slickshot, you know, just to kind of round out all the colors. But maybe we'll do that in a future deck tag. I don't know. I think I might hold off on that, maybe for when Modern Horizons 3 comes out. And the reason for that is, once we get to Modern Horizons 3, we're going to be doing a lot more timeless budget decks in the future. Because, again, with that set, since it's going to be completely legal in the timeless format, I believe we'll have a lot to work with for future deck techs throughout the whole summer with this and Thunder Junction. Because I mentioned earlier in the first stream we did, it was a little bit of a disaster. But in any case, the point I'm trying to make is, in that first stream, I did talk about it. Thunder Junction has an insane amount of cards, way more than any set, because of all the bonus sheets. And because of that, there's so many cards that I still don't have enough time to go over every single one and make cool decks out of. But as tiring as it is, I'm going to do what I can to see how many decks we can have fun with using Thunder Junction as our backdrop as much as we can. But in any case, opponent's got Soulscar Mage. Okay. This is something that might hurt us a bit here, because this will take away a lot of our pump. So this is going to be something we have to be careful about. But in any case, Mountain there. Okay, how do we do this? Okay. Let's put Sentinel's Eyes on. And we'll pass. Okay, so at least we now have a Vigilance creature here, which is great. Mountain. Let's see. Planeswalker. I'm not looking forward to the prize though. Modern Horizons will be more expensive, I imagine, in paper. Yes, I will agree. The prices already for boxes and paper are insane for Modern Horizons 3. And it kind of makes me a little sad because Wizards is not really doing anything to prevent the prices from going out of control. Honestly, probably the best I'm going to be able to do is just get that one bundle. Okay, opponent's also got us down to 18 here. But, again, going back to Modern Horizons 3, the biggest downside I see with it is just it's so insanely expensive. And, again, the other thing is, again, in paper, there's going to be so many chase cards for Modern Horizons 3, even worse than Modern Horizons 2. I bought way back a box. We're going to plot, by the way. So, plotting. Okay, opponent, go ahead. But I was able to afford at least the Modern Horizons 2 box. This was, again, at a time when the boxes were going for, I think, like $250. That was pushing it for me. I was able to buy a box for $220, and that was, I feel like I overpaid for what I got. I didn't get a single fetch land in my box, which kind of stinks, but it's okay. I was still happy with what I got from my Modern Horizons 2 box. We got a lot of cool cards from it, but as of right now, card prices for some of the boxes are getting way too expensive, and it still makes me sad because I really would love to see some really awesome stuff from Modern Horizons 3, but there is no way I'm paying for the prices that they're asking for online right now. Some of the boxes, I think, was it top end right now, $500 a box? That's insane. I'm not paying that. No way, no how. Yeah, I'm not proud of saying that, Jake Gravel. I did pay maybe a little bit more than I wanted to for a Modern Horizons 2 box, but again, let's be real. I was really hyped because I saw on there the fetch lands. I'm not going to lie, I got sold on the fetch lands. So, I'll be real. I wanted those fetch lands ASAP. But sadly, we just didn't quite get them. So, maybe that was on me. But that's okay. I still got a lot of cool cards that I'm adding to future decks. even some draft chaff. Maybe I'll make a little cube out of it later on in the future. Okay. Going back to the game real quick. Opponent is playing mono red Slickshot show off, so that's totally cool. I want to see how well they do. They got basically one turn here to beat us. Can they beat us right here? So we're down to 15. They're going to hit us for 5. But otherwise, let's see. Opponent, do you have lethal? Light up the stage. Okay. They're going off. That's 8 damage. They're halfway there. Monitor Swiss here. That's 9 damage. They got 2 more cards in hand. Light up the stage again. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. 13 to us. Down to 2. All right. Unfortunately, oh man, we didn't quite get our land drops here. Well, that was really awkward. That was super awkward for us, but okay. Well, at the very least, we can Slickshot show off 2 cards. And I guess we'll just do this. Get a little pump. Down to 13. We go back up to 6. Yuli's 25. Thank you for all the videos. A really big help. Okay, well, thank you for that. I appreciate it. This is the reason why I do my budget videos is for players like you, Yuli's 25. Honestly, that's the whole reason why I play Arena, and this is also the reason why I like to do a lot of budget decks, because players out there, again, as I was mentioning in my rambling right now, the main reason why... Wow, we're actually down to 3. We're not dead yet. I'm shocked. But in any case, the reason why I do my budget decks in the first place is, as you've all seen, I love playing this game. I have a really big passion for Magic, but man, a lot of cards right now. Paper and in Arena are too expensive for a lot of players out there, and I don't want this game to be priced out. So that's the whole point of me doing these streams. That's the whole point of me doing all of my deck techs, is for players like you out there who are looking to play the game and not burn up all your money and burn up your wild cards. That's literally why I do this whole channel, and this is why my whole focus is budget games, budget decks that are still fun for players out there like you. So that's why I do it. So thank you again. I appreciate your support, and I appreciate that all of you are watching. Okay. I don't think we're going to win this match, but I'm just going to go all in here. We're just going to go for broke, everybody. So with that, okay, so how do we do this? Let's see. Let's have 1 few cards in hand. Okay. Let's hit them. Okay. Go back up to 6 again. They're down to 6. All right. Well, still anybody's match. If they dump their hand here, we will lose. But that's okay. Honestly, right now I'm having a lot of fun with this. And I'm really enjoying this match right now. Opponent actually has an interesting build here. Usually if you want to play Slickshot Show Off, you don't want to go high on the curve with like a 4-drop here. But it's interesting that they picked that. So I'm curious to know what their build is. Down to 3. So this is where we lose, which is unfortunate, but that's okay, everybody. We're still going to play a couple more matches with the Boros one, and then maybe we'll play the meta one, but I also am going to save up for the future. If we can, if you're interested, if anybody wants to see, I'll be willing to put maybe, not on stream, but maybe a deck tech in the future for a Rakdos build, so we can at least round out all the colors. So we'll check that out. Yes, Hazoret is 2017. Yes, back when Red Deck Wins was dominating with Ramanop Ruins, Hazoret. If anybody was around for that standard, oh man, that was wild. That was a great time for me because I love mono red aggro and I love mono red burn, obviously, because also, not because I happen to be a fireball and I happen to be called the Infernoman, but again, that was awesome. Anytime Red Deck Wins as an archetype is dominating, I'm super high because I love playing that format. I love aggro decks, of course, as you can tell when you watch my channel. I love playing creature decks out there, but definitely anytime we had aggro is the #1 thing. I always had a lot of fun because mostly, again, matches go by quick. We have a lot of fun. You smash through a lot of people, and honestly, it's fun for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you see my channel, I definitely like to play a variety of decks out there. I play mid-range. I do play actually control, and sometimes, yeah, I do play combo decks, even if they're a little janky at times, but at least I have fun with them. So that's what I like to do. Okay, so with this, going back to the match. So we have 1 land. We have Clever Lewmasters and Defiant Strikes. We could technically draw cards with Defiant Strike. So do we keep this? Yes, Hazoret Wins was fun. And, oh yeah, so Yuli's, is this the new Boros Heroic deck? Yes. I guess you could say this is new Heroic. I know, it's a one-lander, but don't worry, everybody. We got plenty of one-drops, so I think we can get away with this. Don't hate me. Don't hate me. Clever Mancer. Honestly, I think with the help of Slickshot Show-Off, Boros Heroic technically kind of makes its way back. But the best advantage that that deck has is... I know, we're going to get a little greedy here, everybody, but... The biggest advantage that this variant of Boros Heroic has versus the old version is with Slickshot Show-Off, you don't need to target it to do your damage. You just keep casting your spells like we're going to see right here. Do you have a removal opponent? Okay, they don't. Come on, deck. Draw me a land. That's all I need. Just one land. Even if they counterspell this, I will take the land drop. Watch. They probably have a counterspell. Watch. Wait for it. Wait for it. March of Otherworldly Light. Of course. Alright. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. We still have time. We haven't fought a control deck all day today, so we were bound to run into the one control deck right when we don't get any of our land drops. Joy. Any case. There's not much we can do here. We kind of put ourselves in a bad spot. But we're going to try. Shark Typhoon. They make a short. They're going to block, of course, because that's what they do. Oh, wow, they don't. Okay. Well, at least we can get a little bit of extra damage in here. Oh, finally, there's our land drop. Okay. So with that, Kumamo faces Kakazan. We got to keep applying a pressure on our opponent here. We are down because... Our opponent eventually is going to get their land drops, and they're going to get their answers in, but we're not out yet. We can still keep applying a pressure on our opponent here. Get lost. Joy. That's okay. Maybe we can get this to get to our other land drops. So, how do we do this? I think we'll try to pump up here. Opponent. Okay. Demonic Ruckus is not quite what I want to see yet. I need another land. Just one more land. Do you protect yourself, opponent? You do. So with that, wait. They're looking at... Okay. Wait, should we pump here? Or do you think they have a Spell Pierce? That's actually... I don't know. Makes sense. Well, what cards did you cut from the last Heroic deck? Okay. Since you weren't here for the deck tech, as soon as we're done with this match, Yuli's 25, I'll show you again our deck list in a little bit. So, you know what? Again, we're here to do some aggro. We can't just swing. We can't just hold back, everybody. We got to go for this. We're aggro, so we got to act like it. So down to 7. We got some damage in. Our opponent here... Okay. There's the temporary lockdown, which is annoying, but this is fine. We still have ways of getting through our stuff. But again, the advantage of our deck is we can keep applying pressure with cards like Monastery Swiftspear. We can do our damage. Get our spells in. Down to 4. Okay. Obviously, they must have other wraths. That has to be their only way of getting through. But they are going to be dealing with lethal ASAP if they're not careful here. Ooh, okay. God's willing. That's not too shabby. Okay. Can we pull it off here? Okay. All right. Well, this is it, everybody. All or nothing. Do you have an answer, opponent? Get lost. Okay. Can we believe? I believe, everybody. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. No more counter spells, please. Oh, they probably have something. They probably have something. No! No! Oh, man. Well, we tried, everybody. We tried. Yep. I mean, it's not bad. We're not out yet. We're not out yet, everybody. They got to work for their win here. Clever Mancer. They're the deuce. Okay, draw a card. Okay, how do we... Okay, we're just gonna hold off. Here, we can't show off that we have nothing left in hand. We gotta force them to... Oh boy. Oh boy. Teferi. Always Teferi. Every time. Okay. They're gonna tuck. No surprise there. It's fine, everybody. Oh, okay. Slickshot show off. Okay, we're just gonna hard cast them. Here's why.
Draw a card. We will shock ourselves. Come on, deck. Throw away the Lumimancer. Pump it up. Oh, okay. We're swinging at it. We're going to have to ignore Teferi. Here's why. The reason why we have to ignore Teferi is if we can get one burn spell off the top, maybe we have a shot. But our opponent has to have more removal. They need an answer or else they will lose. Okay. Yes, I agree. No fair. They're cheating. Control decks are always cheaters. Am I right? Am I right, everyone? I mean, again, for those of you that do like seeing... Oh, wow. They had to waste a Wrath on us? Wow. They must have not had any answer then. Okay. Well, again, it's not looking ideal, but we're not down yet, everybody. We're still going to have to grind out our opponent here. If they want their win, they're going to have to really fight for it here. Wow. They sacrificed the clue. Okay. Kumamo. Okay. We're not done yet, everybody. We have 1 point of damage. We just have to get 1 point of damage in. Anything will do. Anything. Wow, I kind of wish now I had the desert lands added in here. Imagine if we beat our opponent with a desert land. Aw, I kind of wish now we had them. That's okay. That's okay. Our opponent here, they need some way. Wow, they're really digging. Okay. Opponent really, really wants to make sure that they have that land drop. Or at least that life gain, I mean. Helix on top and no counter, please. Yes, that's what we're hoping for, or at least another Kumamo. The only good thing about blue-white control is they don't have much healing. I will agree. Unless if they run cards like Absorb, but currently most... Oh, dang it. Nothing yet. That's okay, everybody. We will have to pass here. But yes, I will agree. Unless if an opponent has, again, Absorb, but current blue-white control decks do not run Absorb because they want to have 2-mana counter spells. Wow. Our opponent is going real hard here. They really want to make sure that they have an answer in case if we manage to maybe top deck some kind of burn spell. They do have a lot of mana, which is annoying, but it's not the end of the world. They're going to have to really work for it if they want an answer. Okay. So, how are we looking here? They keep looking at our Kumamo faces Kakazan. It's going to flip next turn, so we will have technically a threat. They cannot play Hall of Storm Giants yet. Wait, hold on a second. I forgot this will untap it, won't it? Okay. Never mind. And untaps it. Okay. Illuminator Virtuoso. Okay, so how do we do this? Well, it's not that I don't want to play stuff, but again, on the other hand, we can't really just wait it out. Oh, wow, they actually tapped down their Hall of Storm Giants. Okay, this is it. Do you have an answer, opponent? They have to have something. You can't have basically 6 cards in hand and not have an answer. I'll be shocked if they have no answer. March of Otherworldly Light. It's fine. It's fine, everybody. We're still in this. It's not done yet. We're still going to try. Just a little bit more.
Keep up the pace.
Okay. They're digging. On the other hand, if they do start swinging with Hall of the Storm Giants, they don't have an option for the backswing because they will not have enough mana untapped to cast it again. Okay. Down to 9. Okay, deck. I believe in you, deck. You have to find a way to get us out of this. So they untap. Oh, no. Not like this. Oh. Oh, jeez. Okay, we need one spell. We need a Lightning Helix to win. If our opponent's only threat is Hall of Storm Giants, we have one turn. One turn to do this. Okay. Do they swing? Yes, they do. But you gotta admit, even for our deck that ran out of gas, you gotta at least admit, our opponent here really had to kind of dig deep just to get to this point. So at least, if nothing else, our deck made our opponent's control deck work for it. I will give it that. But otherwise, well, you got to stay positive because, okay, well, so much for positivity. Unfortunately, I guess we've hit our end here, everybody. That's okay. That's okay. We'll just put it down. I'll be nice. I'm going to let our opponent swing because this gives me a moment to just chat with all y'all for a second. So, honestly, no matter what happens, I try to do what I can to stay positive. I mean, there's no point in being negative in this game. Yes, there's going to be some rage-inducing moments that all matches may have, but we got to have at least some fun along the way. So that's why I'm honestly liking this game. Even if our opponent beats us right here, right now, we don't have an answer, that's totally fine. We made it this far. We made our opponent really have to dig through a lot of lands. They went through 14 cards. We came really close. We got them all the way down to 1 at one point. But our deck just kind of ran dry. So it is what it is. Any case, we're getting close to the end of our stream. We're not done yet, but I do want to show off the final deck that I haven't talked about. And again, it's going to be initially the meta version that I think it won a Pioneer League. So I think this is the one that everyone was hyped about. But we'll talk about that in a second. Real quick, for those of you that missed it, this is again going to be the deck that we talked about. We just did right now. No, salty streamers are hard to find. Yes. So, for those of you that missed it earlier, again, the biggest difference with the Boros one, this is kind of like, I guess you could say, new Boros Heroic, but the main advantage we have is with Slickshot Show Off, we can focus more of our spell slinging on just general spell slinging. We don't have to put it specifically on one card. The only card that cares about having cards attached to it is Illuminator Virtuoso, because that's the only way it's going to get its pump. But everything else could just go off or however you want to do it. So again, your 1-drops for big threats here are really nice because Clever Lubomancer, you still have Monastery Swiftspear, you have Pseudo Tempo with Kumamo, because eventually you just get a ton of value for 1-drop, which is great. And the biggest advantages you have in this deck are going to be, of course, you have access to life gain with Lightning Helix, so you can basically outrace aggro decks by slowing them down with cards like Lightning Helix. You can also use your copies of Take Up the Shield. This was great because it's protection and it gives us lifelink. So also really good for us, especially if you can put it on a Virtuoso, because you can then get a ton of life back and ensure that you can make sure that you gotta have more time to buy against your opponent here. A single copy of Highway Robbery, because again, even though this deck doesn't have that many lands, actually, if you look at the stats real quick, we're running only 19 lands. I don't know sometimes how we flood out with 19 lands, but we kind of did. But that's okay, because with 19 lands, this still runs pretty well. Demonic Ruckus is great also, because again, as an aura, does exactly what we need to. Think of it like copy number 4 of Monstrous Rage. We only need 3 because we're trying to squeeze in as many other spell slinging for protection and for pump. So just take that in. Oh yes, I definitely will say Clever Lubomancer is actually something that people sleep upon. This was an awesome card when it was in standard, but I honestly think this card is really great right now in the Spellslinger deck here because of the fact that it pumps for 2 instead of 1, which in some matches is better than Monastery Swiftspear. But again, it really is match dependent, so keep that in mind. And then real quick, just to help you out there, Ulysses, real quick, in case you want to play the best of 3, so for best of 3 here, yeah, Fragmentize here for your Artifact Enchantment Hate. You have some God's Willing for, again, more protection. Scorching Shots are going to be here as well, just to do some massive damage to big, tough creatures, especially Shieldrids out there. Tormod's Crypt is your Graveyard Hate, and it's great because, again, this is a free card, so this won't affect your spell slinging, and technically it does trigger off Slickshot Show Off, so keep that in mind if you do want to use it. Justice Strike, just a single copy of it, again, for select creatures out there that are super high toughness, and maybe you just want to hose them real quick, or again, it's really cool tech against, what is that called again? Phyrexian Obliterators. So I've had to run in a couple of those decks, and this is a hilarious option in case if you do run into them. But again, you can swap it out as you need to. Rip Aparts here. This is going to be a little bit more of a flex. This is actually, again, for other artifacts or enchantments for the bigger ones out there that you have to deal with. And it also works as great removal. And again, a single copy of Angel Fire Ignition one more time. This is great because it gives you basically all the keywords. Plus, it gives you a little pump, and you can flash it back if you need to grind out your opponent. So those things to keep in mind. Okay, now to wrap up the stream, we're going to finish it off with a meta deck. So I normally don't do meta decks on my channel because, again, it's not that I don't like them, but I kind of get a little bored. And there's so many other people out there that already do meta decks, that do rank, that do competitive Magic. This is not what I'm about. I'm not a Magic competitive player. I can be a competitive person, but I don't worry too much about ranks. So if you ever see me play, more often than not, I like to just play just honestly regular, but I do play rank matches just to really show you how well a deck can do, even on a budget, versus what is currently out in the meta. So hopefully that clears everything up. In any case, if you do want to spend a lot, and I will say this is a lot of rares and mythics, you can go all out with this deck. So this is the hot one right now that I've seen other players play. It's the Gruul Slickshot deck. So most of the other cards are still here. You still have Play with Fire. You still have Monstrous Rage. Monstrous Whisper is still here. Kumamo's still here. You're still going to rock Demonic Ruckus. Now here's again where things get interesting for you. So against... in this deck, what differences and advantages you have. So we are going to rock Soulscar Mage now. So this can be great if you need to ping something down and then put -1/- counters on it. We have cards such as Witchstalker's Fury, because again, this will get cheaper for each creature that attack this turn. It doesn't have to be your creatures. This is again great for those decks that go wide against us, and maybe you want to do a lot of hefty damage for way cheaper. So that's why this is in this deck. One of the biggest ways that you can grind out with this deck that I've noticed when I played it for a little bit was you have now access to Questing Druid. Questing Druid here is really good for our decks, since most of our cards are red, so it'll get its +1/+1 counters, and it has stapled into it a way to then at instant speed exile cards. This will help you again grind out more card advantage to help you get to what you need when you need it. Let's see. So happy I found you on Twitch after watching you on YouTube for quite a while. Oh, well, yay. I'm really happy that you were able to join us on here. But again, feel free, anybody, again, for those of you, if you're not a fan of maybe watching me on Twitch, you can also watch me on any of the other places I stream. I actually even am streaming right now on X, although I don't think anybody's going to watch me on X or Twitter, however you want to call it, but you get my point. I try to stream wherever I can, just that way I can show off these matches and decks, techs, and everything. But otherwise, sorry, I'm rambling a little bit here. In any case, ooh, the Mono Blue Temple one was so good. Oh, well, thank you for that one. Honestly, I did have some people that argue with me about that if it was actually a really good deck for competitive, but in compared to other decks out there that you could play competitively, I will say maybe Mono Blue is probably the best if you want to stay low to the curb, if you want to play something super cheap, and if you do want to play something that is within budget that's still somewhat competitive. Definitely, I would still say Mono Blue. We're going to look at Mono Blue maybe in a future deck tech for Timeless on a super high-powered format once we get to Modern Horizons 3. But again, we'll talk about that a little bit in the future. In any case, let me wrap up again this deck tech, and then we'll play some matches, and then mostly we'll then do a final evaluation of all the decks, and to finish it off, we'll kind of give you a little bit of a sneak peek as to what we're brewing for the future. But in any case, the other advantage you have in green is you still have access to protection, like Blossoming Defense. This is a really awesome card that gives you pump and protection all in one package for 1 mana. You have copies of Audacity here. So these are going to be helpful with Monstrous Rage, because you can see right here, we're going to go a lot more into it with the trample ability and the pumping ability. Plus Audacity here, if it goes into the graveyard, you get to draw a card off of it. So it replaces itself in a pinch when you need to. And then finally, the other card that also I like too is Atarka's Command. So this Gruul instant allows you to pick 2 things, and this can do some massive damage if you manage to cast it, and you get to pump your creatures. So ideally, the 2 that you want to pick on it normally is going to be 3 damage to each opponent, and creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain reach until end of turn. This is actually really, really awesome. But if you really have to use it in a pinch, you can also turn off life gain, which really hoses the other versions that we played. And also, it's not too often you're going to do this, but you can put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. Normally you don't need that, but again, it is an option. So it's at least kind of nice. Obviously, since we're rocking a non-budget version for this one, you're going to have access to Den of the Bugbear for more threats. You have a Ramanop Ruins, Sokazin, Boseiju, and all the usual dual lands that you would expect from this kind of deck. For those of you that are interested in playing this in best of 3, from what I see, we have Jengotha. It's a free roll, so you might as well use it. In terms of other options out there, from what we see here, copies of Pick Your Poison. This is actually a really awesome card here, where you can make your opponent forcefully sacrifice an artifact, an enchantment, or a creature with flying. And currently, I think right now, the biggest threat a lot of people are playing is, what is that card now? Vein Ripper? Is it that giant vampire that does a lot of life gain and drain? It's kind of basically a souped up blood artist, I believe. That's mostly what this is picking off. You have Mage Bane Lizard here. This is actually a cute little card here. I actually really like this card. If you haven't seen this, it just basically says when a player casts a non-creature spell, the lizard will deal damage to that player equal to the number of non-creature spells they've cast this turn. So in other words, this is going to supposedly hose, I guess, the combo decks and control decks out there that get a little too Spellslinger happy. So keep that in mind. case of the Crimson Pulse, when this basically enters the battlefield, you discard your hand, draw 2 cards. This is just going to help you with card draw to outgrind your opponent if you're going to play it that way. You have copies of Red Cap Melee for enemy red decks out there, Rending Volleys for enemy blue decks out there, and it can't be countered. And then from what I see here, we have also a copy of Rampaging Ferocidon. Mostly, again, this is anti-life gain for mono white decks out there and angel decks out there. And then finally, another final copy of Witchstalker Frenzy to round out the whole package. But otherwise, we're not going to, again, have enough time to do best of 3s. Mostly, again, we are focused on best of 1, because mostly that's what, from what I've seen statistically, a lot of players like to play Magic, at least in Arena. But don't worry, in the future, if you all want to see it, we will try to do some best of 3s down the line. Maybe we'll even play, if we get enough people, maybe we might be able to do some future decks where maybe I might be able to play some of you out there. If you actually want to see me, if you actually do want to play against me, maybe we might do a stream in the future where I might want to play against some of you guys. Well, we have tons of ideas. But again, I don't want to ramble too long. We'll definitely want to play some of this. And then we'll definitely start rocking some stuff here. So let's now, I'll shut up now. And we'll start playing now to wrap it up, some ranked with Boros Slickshot. So where is our deck at? Oh, wait. Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong one. There it is. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's see. Would you run Ramanov Ruins as a 2 of? Okay. That's a good question, Ulysses. That's something... Are you talking about the Boros version of the deck? If you are, I would definitely consider running it, because I think maybe that might be something that could be helpful in the future. So that's something I probably will try to add in. I'll definitely consider that, and I wouldn't say no to it. I just would have to test it out to see what is the right number for the deck. Okay, so let's now go ahead and let's play. We have Slickshot Show Off. Awesome. We have Kumamo, Play with Fire, and a Blossoming Defense. So not too bad. We have 3 lands, which is great. Oh, wow. Ruin Crash. All right. Looks like we're going to try to get milled. Okay, that's fine. If our opponent wants to mill us. Here's how we're going to do this. Kumamo. We're going to ping our opponent. Down 19. Okay, so this is going to be a race to see how fast we can beat down our opponent before they try to mill us out here. We're definitely going to see what we're trying to do here. Oh, I forgot that there was actually one card in here I forgot to mention. We have Picnic Ruiner here. This is actually a cute little card itself because, again, same thing. This card can become a double striker if we have a creature we control with power 4 or greater. And also we can distribute some counters at sorcery speed, but also it's something that's a nice little flex card for us for this deck. Not something I saw really because it's a 1 of, but again, I haven't had a chance to really use it, so I can't really speak on that card too much here. In any case, Den of the Bugbear. We will play, or at least plot Shot Show Off. I was tempted to put it in, but I feel like our opponent has a Fatal Push, just in case, against creatures. Okay. Opponent's trying to mill. Yep. That's the thing. More milling. Alright. Oh boy. Ouch. Oh, that really hurt. Okay. Alright. So we got our etching of Kumamo. We will play our mountain. Slickshot Show Off. Alright, well, if they have another Tasha's Hideous Laughter, we are going to be screwed. So, I guess at this point, we're just going to go all in. If our opponent blocks, okay. Well, at the very least, we can get rid of the Ruin Crab. You're down to 13. So, unless if they have something massive here, maybe we have a shot. Oh, or maybe not. Ooh. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay, okay. Hold on. All right. Did we bait our opponent here? Did we do it? So. Pump. Down to 11. We literally only have 2 cards. Blossoming Defense. Wow. Wow. We did it! Jeez. The power of this deck is not to be underestimated, everybody. Wow, that was awesome. Woo! I honestly thought we were going to get milled there. Well, we actually beat our opponent. Not too shabby, right? Wow. I'm still so high on Slickshot Show Off. Oh, man. I love this card. Super awesome, by the way. Okay. All right. Moving on to the next match. While we're getting our dailies done. All right, let's go ahead and continue. For those of you who've been watching this far into it, I really do appreciate your support. Thank you, everybody, again. I'm really having fun right here. I'm really definitely enjoying this. I will say, though, again, as much as I would love to stream a little bit longer, as for those of you who have seen my previous streams, we don't stream for too long because, again, I have other things that I have to take care of in life. Yay, life. But it is what it is. So whenever we can, I'm sorry if I don't have like a consistent schedule of things I do, but anytime we can stream, I will. So keep that in mind. Thanks again for those of you who watch my streams in a sporadic way. This just is what it is. So I really do thank all of you. In any case, so our opponent here did some mulliganing, but we've got pretty much what we need. We have 2 lands, Slickshots in hand, Questing Druid to draw some cards, Kumamos. Not too bad. This is great. So hurt us, but we ping them. Down to 19. All right, opponent, what do you got? What are you playing against us? All right, Snarl. They showed off a mountain. Okay, they're playing Boros of something. So with that, we will. How do we do this here? It's tempting to bring in the Slickshot, but I feel like they might have removal. So just plot away. Ourselves. That's okay. This is fine, everybody. We do have a Blossoming Defense for protection. 10th District Legion. Oh, wow. They're playing the old school version of the Boros Heroic deck. Well, there you go. For those of you that were interested, you can kind of see the old one. Way back, though. We actually did play a Boros deck tech way back a couple of years ago. But honestly, with Slickshot Show-Off, I really feel like the deck has gotten better. But we had to basically cut a lot of cards that no longer really feel relevant anymore. So keep that in mind. Slickshot Show Off. We'll play Kumamo. That gives us Pump. Down to 18. Alright, well this is now a race. Can our opponent beat us? Alright, they got 3 lands, 4 cards in hand. Phoenix Chick. Okay. That's a choice. Not quite what I was expecting, but okay. They swing. Do they have an answer? Defiant Strike. Okay. Alright. Opponent is trying to close this out faster than us. But can we beat them here? Down to 6. Okay, so we untap. Alright. So, we didn't get a land drop, which is really awkward for us. But, do we risk it with the Questing Druid? Okay. I think we're just going to have to go super aggro instead. Slickshot Show Off. Gets a pump. Down to 5. We will play Blossoming Defense. Alright. Oh! Dang. Oh, man. If we only just had one more land, we could have just closed it out right there on the spot. Man. So close. Alright, opponent. Well, you get a free win here. Which is fine. I don't mind. But you can see, again, what this deck is capable of if opponents are not prepared. So they get the win. This is okay. I'm not mad. That's okay. We did get reckless there. I guess I miscounted there. I was sure that we were going to be able to get it there, but that's okay. We'll just move on to the next match. We'll get a couple more done, and then we'll kind of just wrap up afterwards, everybody's, because I'm looking at the clock, and we're getting close to the end of the stream, as I mentioned earlier. So don't worry. We'll get at least maybe, I don't know, maybe like 1, maybe 2, 3 tops. 3 tops, depending on how long they take. 3 more matches, and then we'll be ending the stream. And then we'll do our little wrap-up, and that'll be mostly it for the day. So again, for those of you who have stuck in here this long, one more time, I do appreciate all of you, and I thank all of you for hanging out with me today. We had a lot of fun with what we've been playing. So, Monastery Swiftspear. Doing the damage. Slickshot Show-Off is waiting in the wings, as always. Thoughtseize. Ouch. Okay. Not what I wanted to see, but it does hurt them. So, at least with us, we're being super aggro. That's one of our biggest advantages. Even if they throw away Slickshot Show-Off, we do have a lot of answers against our opponent here. So, with that, Monster Swiftspear. Play with fire. Gotta get super aggro. That's how we want to do this. Ooh, we got a Monstrous Rage. We'll keep that. We'll need that later. Down to 11. All right, opponent. You have 1 land, and you're going to need to start putting down stuff if you want to beat us. Oh, Concealed Courtyard. Interesting. What are you playing, opponents? Some kind of Abzan deck. Oh, okay. It's the... it's the Greasefang deck. I didn't think anybody's played this deck anymore. I haven't seen this deck played in maybe like the past like month and a half now. Does anybody still actually see people play Greasefang? I haven't seen that in a while. So it's interesting to see it still. Alright, so Questing Druid, doing its thing. And we will swing here. We gotta start pumping. Prowess. Triggers. They're down to 4. Woo! Well, we're definitely closing in on our opponent here. If we can get one more pump spell, we might be able to close that out right here. Assuming our opponent doesn't have anything else. Opponents? They're thinking. Thinking real hard. Vessel of... Wait, I cannot pronounce that. Vessel... Nassini? Did I say that right? Wow, I'm not very good with words, so bear with me on that if my pronunciations are terrible. In any case, opponent is playing that art of enchantment. Witherbloom command. Okay. They life gain and drain. Annoying, but this is fine. Ooh, okay, so we got another Questing Druid, so which is great. And there you go, everybody. That's it. We beat them here. All right, not the most glamorous win, but we will take a win. A win is a win, and I am going to be happy with that one. Okay, so maybe 2 more matches? How's that, everybody? 2 more matches, and I think we can wrap it up for today. We'll call it a day. Because I'm going to have to actually start getting ready for my regular job. So let's keep going just a little bit more. Again, for those of you who have not had who had maybe jumped in a little bit later, don't worry again. The entire video is up on Twitch. We will also have a full copy available on YouTube, so you can check it out there. Maybe for those random 1 or 2 of you out there that are watching, maybe say on, oh, I don't know, like Twitter or X, you can also check me out there. So that's an option too. However you want to watch me, there'll be a copy out there for those of you who want to see it. Okay, so what is exactly our opponent playing? While we do that, we actually held our hand here because we got 2 lands. We got Soulscar Mage, Kumamo, Monster Swift Sphere for great aggro, a pump spell with a Targa, and we have Slickshot again. So, wow, we've been having some really good hands this past couple matches with Slickshots in hand. So, that's been nice for us. We will play... How do we do this here? Okay, I think this time we'll play Soulscar Mage first. So, with that, what are you playing, opponents? What exactly are you throwing down? Alright. Brushland. So, something with Selesnya? Life gain? Angels? Tokens? What is it, opponents? I'm dying to know. Elvish Mystic. Okay. Well, I mean, that's fine. That's okay. So with that, we will... Excellent Forest. How do we do this? Okay. So... Monastery Swiss here. Kumamo. Get some pump. Start doing our damage. Ping. Down to 18. Swing. Obviously, our opponent's not going to block. So they're down to 14. Okay. Not too shabby right now. We are doing pretty well. Plains. But what are they doing with an Elvish Mystic? What are you trying to accomplish here, opponent? They're thinking it out. While they're thinking about it, again, for those of you out there that have been watching my stuff, what would you like to see us play in the future? Are there any cards out there that any of you are interested in checking out that maybe we have kind of ignored? There technically are quite a few decks that I've already kind of built with Thunder Junction cards in mind. We're definitely, of course, working on our first major one that all of you I know voted on. I think it's been a little while. I do apologize. I did delay that deck tech, not purposely, because I'm busy trying to do a bunch of other stuff. But, okay, so it is an Angel deck, so now we know. But otherwise, the main reason why I haven't put up the major deck tech that you all voted on with Gisa is we're just having some slight delays with some other things happening. I mean, hey, that's how life goes. But I figured that today would have been a good day to at least get a stream out there, just to at least address that. Don't worry, the deck is actually in progress of being done. We already have our footage. We just need time to actually edit everything and put it all together. So that's coming down the pipeline. Don't worry, it is coming. So, with that, I'm going to swing here. Let's see if our opponent tries to block. If they don't, we're going to take advantage of this turn to hit Witchstalker Frenzy to get rid of Bishop of Wings. That card is going to hurt us a lot if we keep it alive. Opponents, you're all tapped out, and you have 4 cards in hand. Are you there? Okay. I guess they're not. So we're gonna hit that now. Top of our team. Get rid of that. Clear us down to 9. Okay. We're getting close to the end here. This is actually not too bad. Ooh, Collected Company. Alright. No big hits. Skyclave Apparition. Oh boy. It's always this card, everybody. Always this card. Always this card that hits me. But that's okay. This is fine. This is fine. Soul Scar Mage is gone. Okay. Slickshot show off again. So. Put away a Slickshot. We will go swinging. Do you block, opponent? Okay. Alright, well, down to 7. We're getting close. Very close here. We have a Slickshot ready to go. If we can get at least one more land, maybe we have a shot. Come on, opponent. Do not have another Angel. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. Alright, well, they gained some life, which is not what I want to see. But okay. Alright, so, how do we do this? How do we do this, everybody? Slickshot. Okay, so we're going to swing. We're going to swing here, and we're going to see if we can push through the rest of the damage. They have 2 flyers, so they do have ways of pushing out Slickshot. If they don't do anything else. Oh, wow. Do we pull this off here? Okay. 3 damage, +1/+1. Did we get it here? 4. Ping ourselves. Pump. We did it. Yes. We beat our opponent. Wow, they didn't want to block the Slickshot? That was their undoing. So that's how you do it, everybody. That's, I think we'll end it right there. I think we want to end it on a good note. That was great. Our opponent didn't want to block the Slickshot, and they paid for it with a loss. So, wow. I will take that. I'll definitely take that. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's wrap this up. I'm going to now give my thoughts on all 3 decks. We'll then give you a quick little sneak peek of what's to come down the pipeline for content here. But definitely we're going to be closing this out in just a few moments, everyone. So let's go over again, basically the standard one. Okay, so to wrap it up, how did we feel about this deck? Would you play this deck in any way, shape, or form? Honestly, maybe if I tweak it a little bit more. I like the Is It one, but it felt like it was still lacking. Maybe I'm trying too hard to do too many things at once. Honestly, if I have to pick it again, maybe I'll move back Third Path Iconoclast into the sideboard. And I think maybe if we bring in some removal or counter spells just to give us a little extra protection is mostly what I would consider for the Is It version if you want to play it in standard. Standard version, again, not bad, but it is something that maybe with some tweaking, it could be much more better. Now, in terms of the Boros one, this one was the one I was super high on. And it actually did pretty well. We got quite a few wins in with it. We did lose some, but you kind of saw that this version the best advantage it has is there's a lot of threats for the deck that it really can actually take advantage of. Virtuoso is a great threat. Lumimancer is a great threat. The cards that we had that can give them pump are all greats. So I honestly think this is actually pretty solid. Again, just like the standard one, I think you would probably want to tweak it just a little bit, depending on, again, what the meta is holding, just to make sure you get the most optimization out of all the cards that you're going to be casting on your creatures, and also some of the auras with what we have. Now, finally, as far as the meta Gruul one, I can definitely see why this one is the one that's kind of praised right now. Mostly just because, again, this version is very powerful with what it's capable of doing with everything that we've got. I honestly really, really like what this one's trying to do, but it's really expensive. So, is it possible to do this as a budget? It is doable, but you're going to have to make a couple of tweaks and compromises. So personally, I would say don't do this version unless you really want to invest in some Spellslinger deck like this. Something to consider for the future. Now, overall, if I was to still say it, and again, I'm not trying to be biased, but I would still say the Boros one is your best one if you want to play an Explorer and you do want to save up and you want to spend more on, say, the future Gruul one if you do want to play something that's more competitive. Just my initial thoughts. But otherwise, that's basically all I have for today, everybody. Before we wrap it up again, for those of you that are interested in seeing what we're doing down the pipeline, here's basically it. So, little spoiler, for those of you who stuck around this far to the stream, you are my true fiery friends, and I really do thank all of you for hanging in there. So, this is, again, going to be the deck that we're focusing on for the next big deck tech out there. Don't worry, I'm already recording that as we speak. So, this is going to be the Gisa Hellraiser deck. You did vote on the card, so we're going to be working on this, and we're going to be having it out hopefully next week. So that way you guys got something fun to play with. For those of you out there who like my ultra budget deck techs out there, for those of you that don't want to spend rares or mythics, we have an upcoming deck, which I'm calling basically plants. That's going to be coming also soon, hopefully next week when we have time to finishing up all the content for you. Yes, there are going to be some decks that you might see here, but we'll talk about these ones in the future. So I do have a Brawl deck that I do want to play, and I do think is really awesome, but we'll hold off again, maybe for a future stream. And if not, we can't stream it, we'll definitely still show it off at some point. And then finally, a couple of other experimental things. These are more like works in progress, wasting a little bit more time to work with these. We have a Orzhov Bat deck that I'm kind of playing around with just for fun. We have a Warriors build that's in triple colors, although I don't know if I want to play this one in, say, ultra budget. This might be our first deck that I might want to consider doing as an ultra budget version that has no rares or mythics. That's 3 color, but that's going to be, again, something to consider in the future. Anyways, that's basically all I have with that for today. And with that, we're going to be wrapping it up here, everybody. So final thoughts that I just want to say one more time is thank you, everybody, for all of your support. Yes, you are welcome, Jay Gravel. Thank you again for hanging in there. I do appreciate it. I know I'm always not the most entertaining person, but I definitely had a lot of fun with all of you today. And don't worry, again, I can't promise when I'm going to stream again, but when I do have time, I will, of course, announce it ahead of time. So all of you who want to check me out can check that out. But otherwise, if you haven't already done so, please like, follow, and subscribe as always wherever you watch the content so you don't miss out on any of the gameplay, deck techs, booster pack openings, and so much more. I have a lot of Thunder Junction packs that I want to crack, and obviously we have so many more cards to work with this deck. And just before you know it, it's going to be time once again for spoiler season when we do Modern Horizons 3, and we're going to be all in this summer on timeless decks. Maybe we'll throw in some historic decks, maybe another standard deck down the line, some Brawl decks. We have plenty to work with, so there's always going to be something to play with down the line. But with that, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. We're going to be ending it in just a second here. But with that, here's basically my only final thought again. No matter what you do play in the game of life, always be sure, everyone, to burn bright. And enjoy your day, everybody. Later, and have fun out there.